Hey, Charles Hoffman here from iZotope. We're going to explore 5 unique ways to use distortion in your songs, both as a creative effect and mixing tool. You'll learn how to keep your distortion controlled, how to distort your distortion for extra flavor, and much more. The distortion plugins in this video include Neutron, BX Rock Rack V3, Byte, and BX Green Screamer. You can download a free trial of all these plugins in the description below. You'll also find links to videos that will teach you more about these distortion plugins. Alright, let's get into it.
Trash is a powerhouse. You can go as wild as you want, but we've also given you easy controls that help you tame the effect so that you can distort responsibly. Use the post filter to apply gentle shelving for attenuation. There's also a new button inside the global section of the Exciter module called Tame. With this Tame button engaged, you can preserve the dynamics of whatever material that you're distorting.
Then I'm going to distort the distortion. Why? Because there's no fear in our hearts or something like that. What I want is to create more of a sheen here. And I just want to reshape what we have. So if we have this originally, so you're starting to see that this falls into that kind of exploratory way of mixing again, right? I'm trying to build something and then I go, you know what? I need to really resculpt this, and I do so here. This, of course, is giving me less kind of classic rock and a little bit more metal, but I'm liking it. I'm liking that it gives that kind of extra, that kind of haven't heard before in this context, little flavor.
Parallel processing on vocals can help add character to your sound without detracting from the original tone and transient detail. Using Neutron's Exciter module, you can add some personality to your sound using the 3 global modes and saturation types. Here, I'm going to set the global mode to clear, as I want to retain as much of the intelligibility of the vocals as possible, while still giving it some character. I'm going to set the saturation type all the way to tube. This is going to give me a sound reminiscent of an older tube-style preamp, which I think is going to fit nicely with this track. I'll set my drive all the way up and blend in the effect using the mix fader. 'Cause I can't stop these thoughts, they come right through me like a machine gun. 'Cause I can't stop these thoughts, they come right through me like a machine gun. But don't feel like you have to stop there. If you want to smooth the sound out a touch, you can bring down the high end using the low pass filter. You can also split the effect into multi-band mode, so you affect different parts of the signal differently to really tune in the sound that you want. Or have the effect lie somewhere in between the saturation modes using the blend control to really tailor your sound. Check this out. On Byte, bring up the saturation level until you're getting some nice warmth and character to the sound. Then bring down the bit rate to reduce the dynamic range of the sound and bring down the sample rate. This is going to emulate the sound of a reduced bandwidth unit. Think retro gaming consoles. Use your ears to guide you with this kind of effect. This is meant to sound unnatural and vibey. That's the distortion we're heading for. So don't be afraid to go crazy with the effect until you create something that you're happy with.
This approach is what I like to call an exploratory approach. As you have seen, I'm a preparer. I envision stuff, I make my educated guesses, and then I launch in to try to find. If it doesn't quite hit the mark, I tweak a little bit and move forward. For this sound, which is distortion, what I want is something that is gritty, that pops out, that doesn't mess with the low end of the other one, but it's kind of this fun exploration that I want to do. So I'm going to start taking an educated guess. I'm going to put this green screamer on. Why? Because of metal. A lot of my metal guitar players out there know that typically you put one of these beloved green pedals in front of your amp to tuck in the low end a little bit and give it a little bit of a boost. And this is what I'm trying to do. I'm going to turn this up a bit. So you hear that the tone becomes richer. We also got a little bit louder and we got a little bit brighter, and that low end did tuck in. Okay, so then I'm going, I now want this to sound like it's coming out of an amp, and I try to envision it. And here, literally, I went through a whole bunch of different amps until the sound in my head was met a little bit more. And I ended up at this. Here's the before. That kind of snarl I really, really like. And here, of course, if you see me grab, instead of this 24 Friedman vintage, we go to the previous one. Check out what happens. It has too much mid-range. So again, I am flipping through these until I get to the closest, and then I tweak from there. So this is giving me the snarl that I want. Then I have another instance of neutron, and I'm actually kind of copying what I had before. A compressor first. Why? Because I really just want to deal with high mid frequency issues that I had before, right? So there we go. An exciter. Why? Because more distortion. And now it sounds fatter. But now we're too fat, so I'm putting an equalizer. And now I don't have all of that low end bumpiness, but I also took out a lot of top end. Why? Because I want this tucked into the other one, and the top end might be a little too much. Here, I'm having fun, as hopefully you can tell. Compressor number 2 is doing the same thing as the other one. It is reacting to the kicks and snares. So the bass now sounds like a little kind of constrained, little distorted guy that I'm really liking. And now I just feel like I'm going to put a little more bite. This is Explorationville. So I tried a whole mess of saturators, and then I found this one by Native Instruments, Bite. And it bit crushes, basically. It can deteriorate your sound by emulating the sampling rate. And it's quite grotesque, and by grotesque I mean awesome. Check it out. Whoa! If you guys are jumping out of your seat because it's loud and awesome, that's what it's meant to do. We will take care of that jumping out of level in a second. Here, neutron, again, our finishing touches. This bite saturation just made things considerably louder, and we have more low end. So here I'm deploying a bit of EQ that's going to help me with the offensive frequencies. Having this at 730 pretty much is just a little sliver where it can pop out. And this last compressor is yet again looking at our kicks and snares and ducking a little bit. Why? Because the previous saturator grabbed all of my envelope shaping and it just flattened it out again. So here's the before. Now we, of course, can put this to taste. Here's our original one. And I'm going to sneak this one in a little bit. Perfect. Whew! That was an adventure. So we have our verse bass is locked.
To get started with the distortion plugins in this video, you can download a free trial in the description below. Leave a comment with your favorite tip or add one of your own. Also, make sure to subscribe to the iZotope YouTube channel for more tips like this and like the video if it helped you out. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.